Hi. So now we are discussing conflict between ethics and moral. So now some points are there, like what is principle? Okay, so what is principle? What is principle? Principle. What is principle? Okay. So principle is comprise an individual code of action and enable a person to believe with integrity. They are manifestation of values, moral and ethics. Okay, so person who act upon principle of transparency, reflecting the core values of honesty, fairness, these are the principles. Financial dealings, equality. Okay, what is virtue? Virtues is personal virtue or characterize value as promoting collective and individual greatness. So virtues is the collective. Okay, it is individual greatness is known as virtue. So virtue help a person is reaching accomplishing his ideals. So virtue is for the ideals. Okay, regimes is like a set of implicit explicit principles, rules, decision making of procedure is known regimes. So regimes also there. Okay, and one is code of conduct. Organizational ethics is known as code of conduct, like principle practically code of conduct found in formal institution. Norms are concrete or empirical expression of values. Norms are value in action or practice. So what is norm? Norms are values in actions. Values in action is known as norms. What is the norms? Norms is the values in action. Okay, values in action is known as norms. So respect, arranged marriage, like whatever norms you are making for yourself, that is kind of norms. Now ethics in human action. How we can say the ethics in human action? So human action. See, human action, how we can say this is ethical in human action? Many people tends to equate ethics with their feelings, like being ethical is clearly not a matter of following one's feeling. A person following his or her feeling may recoil from doing what is right, what is wrong. Feeling frequently deviate from what is ethical. Okay, most religious of course advocate high ethical standards, and then ethics would apply only to religious peoples. No, it can't be said. Religion can set high ethical standards and can provide intense motivation, ethical behavior also. Okay, the lack of social consensus issue make it impossible to equate the ethics with whatever society accepts. So, work nuclear giant and ethical infant. We know more about war than we know about peace. So being ethical is also not the same as following the laws. The laws often incorporates ethical standards to which most citizens subscribe. But law like feeling can deviate from what is ethical. The pre-civil war slavery law and old apartheid law of South Africa are obviously example of law. Okay, property of ethics. Now what is ethics? Ethical property. Ethics cannot be shaped and sustained in isolation. Okay, isolation is not ethics. A person environmental interact with his or her genotype or influence the behavioral outcome. A person is not born with an ethical system or moral setup. External environment like society and culture in the interaction with the genetic structure shape it for the person. So, socio-political theory postulates that socialization provides only a partial expansion for human belief and behavior. So, maintaining that agent black slate predetermine their environment. Scientific research provides some evidence that people might be shaped both social influence and genes. Genetic studies have shown that person and environment interact with his or her genotype to influence behavioral outcome. So, how ethics is deriving because of few great personality which have both about the changes human judge analysis informations different capacity to adhere the norms. So a culture is society total way of living in society and live in defined territory and participate in common culture also. So ethics depends upon the context in which they are operating. They vary meaning intensity according to the time, and ethics operates different level of individual organization social cultural political international level. Ethics subjective in nature, they are affected by individuals emotions and perceptions. and ethics interrelate to the each other. Increase the importance of ones can lead to the decrease in importance of others, and because local and international economies are stagnant, the values of economic efficiency has become more important. So that's why no matter what means are used, even if this leads to environmental pollution and global warming, ethical behavior also comes into play with human interact with other things like machine, animal, environment. Ethics originate from sense of justice. Ethics originate from watching justice. Every human is equal. Article 21 of Protection of Life, Personal Liberty. Uh, Ethics are maintained and sustained by the sense of responsibility, accountability. Ethical standards are transcribed by narrow stipulation of law, rule book, and code of regulation. Many act of omission commission may not violate the law, but counter the ethics. So ethics is the area of the justification, jurisdiction. Standard of ethics. What is the standard of ethics? Ethics standards are like what are the terms of rights, obligations, benefit to society, fairness, specific virtues, honesty, compassion, and virtue, loyalty. These are the standard ethical standards. Like don't injury to anyone, a right to privacy, and adequate standards of ethics are like development of one's ethical standards. Okay. What is determinant of ethics? The determinant of ethics are like different frames, like more what is morally right, what is morally wrong, and whereas it is considered highly unethical in moral of modern society. So ethics is like consequences of ethics. What is the consequences of ethics? Ethics play an important role in human life. First, satisfying the basic human needs. So satisfying the basic human needs. Okay, this is the ethics. Second is creating the credibility. So credibility is also like a moral values respected in society even by those who may have no information about the working and the business. So Infosys, for example, if perceived as an organization for good corporate governance, social responsibility, wide even by who do not even know what business into uniting people and leadership. Okay, so common leadership, common belief, common pupil achievement of one's goal. Security and society is also like ethical behavior. If time is also determine the ethics, place is also determine the ethics, and person is also determine the ethics. Okay, so ethics help us the arrive at decision more quickly, and it reveal the value dimension of the decision that would otherwise seem value free. So ethical analysis for administration, it helps in making a more reflective judgment and defended in public also, bringing integration, stability in the society, and like new opportunities to curb the corruption also. Provide like value are changing now, like end result is prioritizing. So this increased significance also and importance of ethical behavior also. Behavioral in present time may leads to a chaos in the society, but ethical behavior will not lead to the chaos. So its consequences can be felt at different level also. Political level, what are the political level of ethics? Like in political level, ethics require trust. It required trust. It required commitment. Like Arab Spring, there is the corruption, replacement of government in Greece and Italy, loss of ethical political level also, democracy, governance in democracy. So ethics is like constitution and the rule of law can be become a point of breach of value, unrealistic and simplistic to accept perceptions. But ethics can be implicitly, like laws of ethics in the Indian politics system has led to hung parliament, coalition government, criminalization of politics. So ethics can decrease the hung parliament, decrease the coalition government making, and criminalization of politics also. International level, like there is a trust deficit between India and Pakistan, between India and China. So World Bank is and IMF are going to for the soft loan for the international organization. They are helping us for the ethical behavior also. Okay, and next is organizational level, like if there is a problem like nepotism, and second problem is lawlessness, third problem is rise of inequality, and fourth is like lost of trust. Okay, fourth is decreases efficiency, economy, effectiveness, destruction of work culture. So ethics can help us what? societal level, individual level, environmental level. It will help us for ethics set of standard that society plays itself and which help guide behavioral choices and action. It will reduce the corruption and increase the rule of law, and deterrent against the punishment also there will be, and fight like ethical norms. In fact, there is need for ethics in every profession, and there should be a paradigm shift from prerequisites business ethics to ethics in business. Okay, so this is all about what we discussed today.